Wow, 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 ladies and gentlemen. Y'all see the truth. Errol Spence Jr. has officially arrived in Australia for his middleweight showdown with Australia's Tim Tszyu, July 25th, next Saturday. And I'm glad he's there, ladies and gentlemen, because this is going to be one of the topics in this video that we highly discuss. There's two things that I want to talk about here. First off, the fight, if y'all haven't seen by now, which I'm pretty sure y'all have. The fight has been changed from 158-pound catchweight bout to 160-pound middleweight bout now. Originally, Tim Tszyu wanted this fight to be at 154 pounds. Of course, Errol Spence Jr. hasn't been in the ring in 3 years. It's going to be a tough time for him to cut down all the way to 154. That's what Tim Tszyu wants. Well, that doesn't end up happening. They agree to 158 pounds. And then I wake up today and I see that doesn't end up happening. On Errol Spence Jr.'s team's request, they request that this fight be changed to 160 pounds. And now y'all must be thinking, what is going down here? There's a couple possibilities, but the first thing that you gotta think about is, bro, is Errol Spence Jr., did he have a bad training camp? Is he having a tough time making weight, being out of the ring for 3 years? Having never fought at 154 pounds? 3 years just eating, traveling, vacation? Keep in mind, in his last fight in 2023 against Terrence Bud Crawford, the man didn't even spar 8 weeks prior to the fight. So you must question, how is Errol Spence Jr. going into this fight? Is the discipline there? Has the training camp been the same? What is the reason why this fight has been changed to 160 pounds? A very high possibility, in my opinion, which I think it could be, is it could be any one of those reasons that I just said. But, like I said, like you guys just seen, Errol Spence Jr. has arrived in Australia. Starting tomorrow, Thursday. That's going to be, what, 9 to 10 days that he has to acclimate to the time zone, to the weather. 9 to 10 days to get ready to fight Tim Tszyu. Y'all must be thinking, oh, that's enough time. Alex, what you talking about? That's enough time. Bro, Monday is fight week already. All the sparring, all the hard sparring, all the hard training had to be done already. This Monday, they're going to be busy. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, press conferences, media everywhere. Y'all see he just arrived in Australia and they're already giving this man ceremonies. When, if Errol Spence Jr. would have arrived 2 to 3 weeks prior, let's just say instead of 9 to 10 days, you give him anywhere from 14 days and up, you could at least get a week of tough sparring, tough training, acclimating to the time zone, to the weather, getting your body ready. But as you see, he's barely getting there. Now, they tried to get there sooner. Jamal Charlo hasn't even received his acceptance to be able to go to Australia, which is a huge problem. But Errol Spence Jr. ran into that problem. Kind of weird because the dude has been traveling this whole time while on the off season. Y'all would have thought he had to and all his stuff like that, but he had issues. So it's very possible that the fight got changed to 160 pounds from 158 to 160 pounds due to exactly what we're talking about here. He only has 9 to 10 days to prepare in Australia for what some could say, because it's been a 3-year layoff. Don't get me wrong, his resume is absolutely up there. But this fight could oppose some of the toughest challenges that Errol Spence Jr. has ever prepared for. And I'm not saying Tim Tszyu's as good as any one of these guys that Errol Spence Jr. has been, great fighters. But the disadvantage is him going to Australia, him not being there for 2 to 3 weeks. Dude, we're already at fight week. Him fighting at 160 pounds now. Now, that, it could work in his favor. If he knew he was going to have a tough time making to 158 pounds. If they already knew that there was going to be a tough weight cut. Let's set it to 160 pounds, so that's one less thing that we got to worry about. That's one less thing. Those last 2 pounds sometimes could absolutely kill the body. So they get what they want. But there's a bunch of red flags to me, ladies and gentlemen, that absolutely stand out. At the end of the day, I'm rocking with my dog, Errol Spence Jr. But I'm seeing so many red flags here going towards the man's way. And don't forget, this is the man who was talking about he don't even know if this is going to be his last fight. In the face-off with Tim Tszyu, talking about, if Tim Tszyu brings it on to me, then I'm going to have to start boxing. We'll see how the night turns out. Confidence going down. I don't know if it's because he's starting to get into the realization of how big this fight is. Tim Tszyu is not a little dude. He fought his last 2 fights at 160 pounds. Now, of course, he would have wanted this at 154 to give himself the advantage, having Errol Spence Jr. go down in weight and try to make that weight and have a tough weight cut. Now, that's not going to happen. But they could be fighting at 160 pounds due to the tough weight cut, due to not having the best training camp, due to not being as disciplined, due to being 36 years old and not being able to do the same things that you used to do when you were young. I'm hoping that it's just because of the plane, the visa, you know, them not being allowed to go to Australia, the timing that they wanted to. I'm hoping that that's the decision. That's what they ended up deciding, bro. Like, yo, we don't want to focus our 9 days that we have in Australia trying to make the goddamn weight cut. So we're changing it to 160 pounds. Tim Tszyu agrees. Of course, he's the B-side. What are you going to do? Cancel the fight? No, ladies and gentlemen. My goodness. 160 pounds. Tim Tszyu versus Errol Spence Jr. next Saturday, July 25th. Errol is in Australia. That's what we want to see. Now it's time to get to work. Get to work, bro. Let me know what you guys think, man. Absolutely breaking news. I'm out.